Hey there, Joel here, and welcome to this online class. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, and that is from the Standard 7 Mathematics. And as usual, before I give out the name to you, let's look at the situation and try and understand what exactly are we going to learn. But before that, if this is your first time over here, then do consider subscribing, and if you understand what I'm going to explain and what I'm explaining, then please hit that like button. So without further delay, let's start. So imagine this. One day, as a child, you might have some hobbies where you collect maybe stamps or maybe toys or maybe cards. So this particular person, okay, had habit of collecting numbers. Okay, so he took one bag, and that bag was named N. Okay, and he started collecting numbers. So from KG1, okay, when he's just started collecting numbers. So he put 1 and then 2 and then 3 and 4 and so on and on. Okay, and he managed to reach a point where he was able to collect infinitely many numbers. Okay, now that symbol that you can see over here, this symbol, okay, this symbol is nothing but it is called as infinity. It is a symbol given in respect to, because that number, that is at infinity, I don't know what it is, but there is a number like that. So just to sum it up like that, you don't write like 9. No, we just write infinity because we don't know how many 999 are there. Okay, so after he collected all these numbers, he was very happy, okay, that finally I collected infinitely many numbers. And then he suddenly found another number, that is 0. And what he did, he put that 0 in another bag which was named W, okay, which is nothing but whole numbers, and he put all the other smaller bag in this bigger bag. So this is what he did. So 0 went inside, and all those numbers which he had collected, N for natural numbers, they also went inside this bigger bag of whole numbers. And he was very happy. Finally, I just collected all the numbers, natural numbers and plus 0 together made whole numbers, and I have the bag with me. And then he took one step further and he found another bag with more numbers, and that is with starting from infinity, which is in negative, okay, which is the bag is named as Z, and then it goes to all the negative, plus he found those 0, plus he found all the natural numbers. He put all of them in this bag with all the other previous ones also, and then he had something called as integers. Okay, just consider Z means integers. Okay, and he was very happy that he collected all the natural numbers, he collected 0, included, made them whole numbers, and then finally he collected all the negative numbers to negative infinity. And then he said, finally I have a bag of integers. And then he found some fractions, and then it was like, oh my god, how many numbers? And then he found out different fractions, and then he divided them. He started getting numbers with decimals, and all those numbers, okay, ending with, so 1.34, 1.34, 3444, all those numbers he collected and put them in a bag which is named with the letter Q, which is called as rational numbers. And he put all the other previous smaller bags into that. So he had whole numbers, he had natural numbers, he had whole numbers, he had integers, and finally all of them went in the rational numbers. And then he finally said, I'm tired collecting numbers. He took one step further and then he found q dash, which is nothing but irrational numbers. And then here we had numbers, which are with decimals, but they are unending. That means the number is such that if I say 3.142139.7, and they are on and on and on, okay, they don't end. All are irrational numbers. And then he put all these numbers inside, and then what do you think? He must have put all those, the previous numbers also in the same bag? No, he can't do. These bags were of the same size, so they went something like this. Okay, so in one bag which of rational numbers, inside it we had natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, and finally the bag of rational numbers, another bag of irrational numbers. And then he said, now I have two bags, I can't carry them any further. Okay, but he said, it doesn't make sense to have two bags. Let me take a bigger bag and put all these numbers in one bag, and that bag is called as real numbers. Okay, in this today's class we are just studying about integers, but it is very important for you to know how many actually numbers are there, because in every class that you go, you study something called, first you studied with natural numbers, then you studied with whole numbers, and then you say the starting integers, and then you realize that how many numbers are actually there. So for you to have a big broader picture, this is how they are. And finally with real numbers, I'll consider that we stop, but not going to happen. There is still another bag where we don't discuss it in the school level here. Maybe when you take 11th standard and all and study, you might study another bag altogether. Let's not just talk about that bag at all. Okay, so here remember that we start with the natural numbers, we go with whole numbers, then we have integers, then we have rational numbers. There is a separate bag of irrational numbers. Together is a bag of real numbers. But are we studying the bag of real numbers? No, we are only going to study integers. That bag which I was carrying, now all these numbers, I'm giving it to you. Study integers in this chapter. So let's roll this intro and let's start with this chapter. Alright, so this is chapter number 1, integers. So we put all those numbers of integers in that bag of integers, right? What was the letter given to it? Z. And imagine those numbers are nothing but clothes. And if you want to go out somewhere and you want that one particular t-shirt or pant of yours, and if you have a pile of clothes like this, it is very difficult for you to pick up that that t-shirt which you want, right? So that's why we usually keep all the clothes folded so that it becomes easy to pick up the one that you want. Same way, when it comes to numbers, it is better to organize those numbers properly, and the way to organize numbers is putting them on a number line. And the number line would look something like this, which you can see on the screen. Okay, so we have all the negative numbers. Okay, we start from the left, we have negative numbers, then we move to 0, and then we have all the positive numbers. So here we have -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But the numbers of integers are not just this much, right? There are still more. This number line can be stretched a lot, and when you stretch it, you have negative infinity to positive infinity. So please remember that when we talk about integers, we are talking about all the negative numbers. We talk about 0 and all the positive numbers. So together this is that bag of integers. So on a number line they would look something like this. Now if you consider all these numbers, we know that 1 is smaller than 2, and then as you go towards the right, the numbers keep on increasing, right? 1 is smaller, then 2 is slightly bigger, 3 is slightly more bigger, and then so on. So that means the infinity number is going to be the biggest. Same way, on the left hand side, we still consider the same thing. Minus 5 is smaller from wherever you are. Minus 5 is smaller, minus 4 is slightly bigger, minus 3 is slightly more bigger than that, and then minus 2 and minus 1. And if you are considering which one is bigger, minus 5 or 0, the answer to that question, which is bigger, should be 0 and not minus 5. Okay, so the left hand side, the smallest is on the left and the bigger is on the right. So on the number line, remember that the smallest number, that means negative infinity, is the smallest number and positive infinity is the biggest number. I hope this part is clear. We have a kind of, I can say, a steps, and then when I am climbing from the smallest step to the biggest step, we say we are ascending. Okay, ascending into heaven, ascend, to go on top. When we are talking about descending, we are coming from a higher level to a lower level. The way to remember this concept is, just remember descending starts with a D, which means you are going down. And from where do we go down? From a higher level to a lower level. Okay, so descending means from a higher point to a lower point. Ascending means from a lower point to a higher point. Many of you all might be in class 7th know already about these ascending and descending, but for all those who still have a doubt with this and they get confused, ascending moda kit gaye and descending moda kit kitre, ascending descending. For all those students, this is the way to remember. Descending means going down, so from a higher level you move downwards. Ascending means from a lower level you go higher. So let us arrange a few numbers in ascending order. So I have a couple of numbers just like those clothes that we were talking about, all jumbled up, and let us put them in ascending order. So put all, this is a way to work it out easily, especially when you have integers, because there are positive and negative numbers and then it just gets confused. So what you do is you find out all the positive numbers first and write them from the smallest, because we are going ascending, right? We are going from down to up. So the smallest number to the biggest number. Okay, and then you write the rest of the numbers. So this would look something like this. So minus 23, which is the smallest, because extreme left is the small, and then we go ahead in making the numbers getting bigger and bigger. So negative 23, negative 9, and so on. And if you understood this perfectly, then you can try these numbers which are in yellow, okay, to write them in descending order. Okay, what we have written is ascending from a smaller number to a bigger number. You write them in descending order. Which numbers? The ones which are in yellow. And you can even comment in the comment section, no issues. Okay, so we, till now, whatever we have studied, we know that integers means a set of positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0. So I have two positive numbers. Let us understand how do we actually write these numbers, especially when you are about to calculate and so on. So I have two positive numbers, 2 and 3, and if I want to add them, so when I want to add, I will write plus sign. Also notice that when we are saying I have two positive numbers, I don't put a plus sign over here. One sec. Okay, I don't put a plus sign over here or over here, we consider that these numbers are positive. Okay, so I have 2 and 3 and think of adding them. I'm not going to write the answer, but just remember that how we write them down. What if I have one negative number and one positive number and I want to add them? So simple, negative number written as 1 minus 5 and positive number is 6 and I want to add them, put a plus sign. Simple as that, right? What if I have 2 negative numbers and I want to add them? Now there is a problem because I can see a plus sign and a minus sign and a number. Now, in such cases, please use brackets to solve all the difficult part of it. Okay, the way you write is, you will be able to solve it in much better way. I know most of the students just get terrified when they look at brackets and they're like, bracket and line and maths about this now. It is very easy. Just remember the simple rule. The moment there are 2 signs coming close to each other, I put a divider and put bracket. Okay, just like if you have neighbors close to your house and there's no boundary wall, then you don't know in whose territory who is, right? So you put a boundary wall, just like that, put a bracket, end of it. Okay, so -5 plus -6 becomes much more visible to look at it and add when you have a bracket over there. Let us take another example. How to add, we will understand in this class only. It takes some time just to know how to write them. I have +7 and this +7 and +3 and I want to add them together, or I want to subtract them. So here there's a negative sign and there's a positive sign close to each other. I don't want them. All I will do is put a bracket. Next, I have 3 numbers now. All 3 numbers are positive and I want to add them or subtract them. Okay, add them over here. Again, there is plus sign and there is +2. So again there is a problem. I'll put a bracket. In the next part also I'll put another bracket. So putting brackets usually solves a lot of problems that you are going to face when you are actually adding them. So keep it simple. The moment you see 2 signs together, put a bracket. Also remember that the sign before the number is what is important. Like for example, if I want to write my name, I will say Joel, right? If I put Mr. Joel over here, it means me. Okay, nothing changed. I don't write Joel Mr. I write Mr. Joel. Okay, same way the sign, okay, of a number is for that number. So if I write -6, it is for that number, and if I write +23, it is for that number. But usually we avoid writing a positive sign or plus sign for a number which is positive. Okay, but in case it is written on a textbook or a question paper, you should not get confused at why a sign is written. So remember that the number and the sign before that is what is important, not what is after that. Alright, next let us take 3 negative numbers and want to add them. So when I want to do it, again there are signs close to each other. All I will do is put brackets. So here I have -5 and -6 and I want to multiply. Again, multiplication is also a sign there. So 2 signs, I don't want them, I'll put a bracket. So if at all you are multiplying numbers, again just the way we ignore that plus sign for a positive number, when you are multiplying 2 numbers, then we ignore the multiplication sign and we write it something like this. So -5 bracket -6, okay, tells me that usually it is -5 is multiplied with that number, but there should be some more information to it. Just don't blindly follow this, okay? Just remember that we avoid writing that x as a multiplying sign there. If I have again two positive, one negative number which I need to multiply and subtract, again there are so many signs. Put a bracket, solves all the problems, okay? So I hope you are able to understand whatever we explained till now, and this part is clear, because if it is clear, then the next class will be very easy to understand. So please, if you still didn't get it, feel free to rewind, watch it again, and make this understanding of integers very clear, because this is like, the base of what you are going to study in your future number system, or whatever you're going to do. Any arithmetic that you're going to do in math will be based on this simple calculation and the way you write and so on. So I hope it is clear, and if you did understand, if you did enjoy this class, then please don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, maybe your batchmates, your friends, relatives, anyone, or even someone elder to you who still doesn't understand how to write these numbers. Share it and subscribe to the channel. Till then, take care and God bless you. Bye bye. Hey there, Joel here, and welcome to this class. We are studying integers, and this is the part 2 video of this chapter. If you haven't watched the first video, then I would recommend that you please go ahead and click the link somewhere here or in the description box, and then come to understand this chapter, this part of the video, because unless and until you know the letters, you are not going to be able to make words. So same way, watch the video, understand what are integers, how do we write integers, if there are two integers, what do we do, all that, and then come to this part. So let us focus on solving a few problems. Okay, so I have two positive numbers, that is 3 and 4, and I need to add them. So positive 3, positive 4. Simple rule, okay, remember, is same signs we add, different signs we subtract. Okay, again, same signs we add, different signs we subtract. Now, same signs need not be only positive. Same signs can be two negative also, but they're same, right? So here, for these two numbers, plus 3 and plus 4, are the signs same? Yes. Then what are we going to do? We're just going to add them. So 4 plus 3 equals 7. The next part is, you have to ask yourself, whenever you do addition, so here we have added, right, two positive numbers, we have, or same signs we add, or different signs we subtract. So whenever you do addition or subtraction, you need to ask one simple question. Sign of the greater number. Imagine this, you might have a younger sibling, and you want to do something, or you have done something wrong, and the younger sibling or your brother or sister wants to go and tell your mother about it, that you have done something wrong. So what you will say as an elder brother, you will say, hey, sangnaka mar bodolo. Okay, you use that authority of being big in that situation, right? So same way, when you are going to put the sign, you use that authority of the bigger number. So when you are talking about addition and subtraction, okay, you just ask yourself sign of greater number, and what is it here? In this case it is plus sign, so I will put plus 7. So the answer to plus 3 and plus 4 is plus 7. Simple. Next problem. 7 and 5. Okay, two numbers, and this time also both the numbers are positive. So it would become, same signs, we add. So 7 plus 5 becomes 12, and sign of the greater number, okay, greater brother you can think of, okay, so it is plus, so I'll put the plus sign. That is, if you have understood these two problems correctly, you can try to solve the next two, okay, and some more, and some more, okay. So please solve all these, okay. Same signs we add, and then give a sign of the greater number. Simple rule, okay. Same signs we add, different signs we subtract. So when you have those numbers, just look at them and ask yourself, are they having same signs or different signs? If they have same signs, I will add. If I have different signs, I will subtract. And then I will ask another question, and that is sign of the greater number. Okay, next I have two numbers now, minus 3, minus 5. Okay, same signs we add, irrespective of whether it is negative or positive. We just looked at the numbers and I saw that two numbers are negative, they have the same sign, I will add. So 5 plus 3 will give me 8, and sign of the greater number, okay, so minus. This is clear. Let us go to the next part. Now, another thing to remember here, we are not basically looking at the actual sense whether the number is really big or no. And what I mean by this is, I told you that the numbers on the number line, smallest on the left and the biggest on the right, we don't just look at that, okay. Don't think and get confused with all these situations and then confuse yourself. Remember that same signs we add, different signs we subtract, and if it is addition and subtraction that you have done, ask yourself sign of the greater number and just put that, okay. Next, negative 6, negative 6. Now in this case both the numbers are same, so first of all same signs, add, so it will become 12, and there's no greater number as such, so whatever the sign is we will put, okay. You can solve these two, and these two, okay. So please solve, and you can write all the answers in the comment section. I'll be happy to check them out for you. Feel free to do that. Alright, so here I have two numbers with me, and this time one is positive, the other one is negative. So when you are calculating, remember different signs we subtract. So I have a positive 3 and I have negative 4. Different signs, right? So 4 minus 3 is going to give me 1. And different signs or sign of the greater number. Which is the greater number here? 4 and 3, right? So 4 is greater, so it has a negative sign. Put the negative sign there. Simple calculation. Let us check another one. 7 and 5. One is negative, the other one is positive. Different signs we subtract. So 7 minus 5 will give me 2. Sign of the greater number, minus. Let's put there. Take another one, or you can try solving them. I have positive 11, negative 8. Different signs we subtract, sign of the greater number. Different signs we subtract, sign of the greater number. Remember this and solve these problems and these problems, and you can comment in the comment section and write it down on your book as well. Next, I have minus 5, minus 6, but this time I want to subtract those two numbers. So two numbers, negative 5, negative 6, but I want to subtract those two numbers. So here, since there's another sign, I will put a bracket. Next, I do want to keep that bracket actually lying over there, because if it is there, then I am not able to solve it. So what I will do is I will remove the bracket, and the way I remove it is negative and negative will become positive. So minus 5 plus 6. So negative negative becomes positive, and that's how I get minus 5 plus 6. Okay, now there are two different signs. What do? Subtract. So the answer to this will become 1 sign of the greater number, which is positive. Hope this is clear. Next, I have three numbers and all three numbers are negative numbers. And what I want to do? I want to add all these three numbers. So since I can see two signs close to each other, I will put brackets. And once I put the bracket, I don't want to keep them there, I want to remove them. With that, I want to eliminate some signs also. So first of all, I will write minus 1 as it is. Plus and minus will become minus. So keep these things in mind. I will write it over here for you. One sec. Okay. Plus and plus is plus. When you're opening the brackets and so on, you have to remember them, or you can remember it as it's the same thing, right? Same sign, add, same logic. When two numbers are positive, we add. So like that. Okay, plus and plus, plus. Minus and minus, plus. Okay, minus and plus, minus, and plus and minus is equal to or is minus. So remember this very well, very important for you when it comes to calculations and so on. A number of students still get confused with this, okay, even in the 10th standard. So I don't want you to face the same issue. So that's the reason I'm stressing a lot and going very slow when you're talking about these signs and numbers. So here plus and minus becomes minus. That's how that number becomes minus 4, and plus and minus will become minus 6. So I have over here minus 1, minus 4, minus 6. Now this will become, I will just try and calculate. So minus 4, minus 6, same signs we add, right? So this will become 10, sign of the greater number negative. Again I have two numbers now, negative negative, same signs we add. So this will become 11, sign of the greater number minus 1, 11. So you might be able to see a lot of steps over here, but you don't have to worry about them, okay? Because sometimes this calculation, if you practice it properly, this will just happen like this in your mind, and you will not have to be bothered about whether I'm doing it right or wrong. But get the base correctly, understand each and every step perfectly, and you won't make mistakes. Remember this box which you can see, okay? Plus and plus, plus, minus and minus, plus, minus and plus, minus, and plus and minus, minus. So same signs we add, give a sign of the greater number. Different sign we subtract, give a sign of the greater number. Simple logic. Let us go ahead and look at what is the meaning of inverse of a number or additive inverse. Okay, so I have a pencil, okay, and all I do is I rotate it. Okay, we say that it is, okay, in other words, inverse of it, ulta. Okay, so if I have a positive number, inverse of it, you don't write the number ulta, but we just write it as negative of that number. So negative 5 is an additive inverse of positive 5. Let us take another example. Negative 28 is the number that I have. What will be the additive inverse? You can get a fill in the blank over here on this additive inverse topic. All you have to do is, if the number is negative, you write the positive number and say that is the additive inverse. If it is positive, then you write the negative number of that and say it is the additive inverse. So here, additive inverse of negative 28 is positive 28. Okay. Next are a set of numbers over here, which I want you to write down the additive inverse, okay, of all these numbers. So what is the additive inverse of negative 9, what is the additive inverse of positive 68, and so on. Okay, you can write it down in the comment section, and also on your notebook. I hope you have been able to understand whatever I explained till now. Please practice with a number of problems with different numbers that you can experiment with, and if you still have doubts, write it in the comment section for me to answer them for you, so that your doubts are clear. And if you did like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, share the video with your friends, subscribe to that channel, because a number of my viewers are not subscribing. Also, I've noticed another important analysis, and that is a number of viewers are, girls who are interested in studying mathematics and science. I don't know why, what happened to all the boys, and are they not interested? So if you are a male, then please watch a number of videos and learn. I don't know whether girls are more serious than boys when it comes to studies. Just the analysis, I don't know. So take care and bye bye. God bless you.